Good morning, folks. Today I wanted to show a video on how you can use checkboxes with a query to pull back some data, filtered data by using checkboxes. So in my example here, what I have is I have this data over here on sheet 1. I've got some timestamps of some vending machines and the earnings that the vending machines have over a period of time. And what I want to do is get a summary of how much each machine or set of machines has earned. So for instance, if I wanted to get all my college machines, I could, select my college machines, hit the space bar, and that's my college. I could come down here and see, okay, grab my couple of high schools, hit my space bar, and show exactly which machines, or again, you could just individually grab machines, and you can see what's happening as I hit the checkbox. My machine name comes in and I get my total. So how do we do this? This is the query that we're going to build that does this for us based on the data that it pulls from sheet 1. So let's see how we can do this from scratch. So we have a clean data sheet here, and let's see what we're going to do. What we want to do is, as we select different machines, I want those to show up in a list. So we're going to put a formula right here. This is equals to query. We're going to query this data set, A to B, and we want to select A where B is equal to true. And that's what we want to do. Let's go ahead and finish that up. So we get our machine name. If I click a name, click a name, click a name. So I'm building a list now. That's my first step. But if I don't really want to see the machine name, I don't want to see the header on there. We could try to see if we can get rid of that by doing a 0. And okay, so yes, that works. We can do a 0 for no header. And another way to do that would be to label A with a blank. But now I have an NA, which I don't want. So I'm going to have to go ahead and put in an if error and wrap this query with an if error. And the reason I want to do that is I don't want anything to show up there. Here's my machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, and so forth. So I've got my list, and that's what I really wanted. That's in this formula right here. Let's go ahead and mark that as a formula. So let's title this build a list of machines with query. And let's go ahead and let's wrap that. Maybe make it bold. Let's just bold everything in this top list and center. And center it this way. I like to clean things up like that. Okay, so here's my list, and as I start to build these, I get that list. Perfect. Now, what we're after, let me just type this out as a hard-coded query. What we're going to be looking for, really, is building a query, and again, we should text wrap the whole line there. So what we want to do is equal to query. We're going to query, and this time our data set we're going to query is this data set. And what we want to do with that data set, I think we'll go ahead and lock that reference. So, and what we want to do is we want to select B, and we want to select the sum of C where B equals, for instance, a machine name, machine 1. that should be a hard-coded query. We missed something. Let's see. I think we missed equals machine 1, and because we have a sum C, we need to do a group by, so group by B. That should give us a machine. So now we have our machine name and our sum. That would be a hard-coded data. Now, what if I wanted to show machine 1 or machine 2? We would use an OR statement, or B equals single quote machine 2. And if we do that, now I can hard code a query. So the reason we're showing this is what we have to build and replace with our statements. So we want to be able to build a query that is automatically created as we continue to add these. But it needs to be written in this kind of syntax. And while we're here, I think we'll clean up a couple of things. We're going to group by B. We're going to label sum C as total. I'd rather it looks like that. And I'd like to format sum C as a currency. So I'll go ahead and do a $0.00 and finish that out with a single quote. That should take care of it. Got something wrong. And error, I think what we did wrong here is we put in a double quote instead of a single quote, and that should take care of it. So that's our hard-coded query, getting us what we want, our machine name, our total, machine 1, and our currency label. But that's hard-coded, it's not going to help us with this. But what we do want to build is this select statement, and it needs to look like this when we finish building it. Now, what we need to do then is to build this query where it says B equals machine 1 or B equals machine 2. So how can we build that with combining these things that we're checking? And for that, we're going to use a TEXTJOIN. So we're going to use TEXTJOIN. And what TEXTJOIN needs to do here is build something that looks like machine 1 or machine 2 and so forth. So the first thing it needs is a single quote around the outside of it. And then we're going to do TEXTJOIN. And what we're going to TEXTJOIN is, let's see what our delimiter is going to be this. We're going to have I think we're going to want a single quote and a space, and a single quote. That's going to be our delimiter. We're going to ignore any empties, and the text we're going to combine is C to C. So let's see what this does for us. C to C, let's see where we end up. Let's just see what that creates for us. So we get machine 1 or machine 2 or machine 3, but we don't have a trailing single quote. So we have to add again a single quote. So now I am building, as we see here in our hard-coded query, machine 1 or machine 2. Well, we don't have the B equals, so we have to fix that. So our TEXTJOIN is going to be have to be equal to B equals. So we're going to have to put that in there. So let's see, that's going to be or in here, B equals. So now we have machine 1 or B equals machine 2 or B equals machine 3, And notice as we check and uncheck, we get that syntax that we're looking for here. Machine 1 or machine B or machine 2. So we're making some progress there using our text join. But now that we're sort of using this onion method of building this up, here I was able to build this list with this formula, and here I'm saying to use C2C. So instead, what I want to do is replace the C2C with the formula that I have here. So let's grab this formula, everything but the equal sign. Let's copy that. And let's come over here and let's put it over here. Oh, I did not want to do that. Let's escape. Let's get out of there. I've copied that formula. Let me come here and let's do this. First of all, let's take this formula, and I think I could drag that aside. Okay, no, that's going to be, that changed that to D2, but that's okay, we're getting rid of that. So this is TEXTJOIN with query. So what I want to do then is grab this formula, and I'm going to grab all of this, minus the equal sign, copy that, and then I want to come in here, and instead of this being D2D, which wouldn't have been right, I'm going to paste that in there. And now, notice, I have with one formula, this is building what we need, machine 1. So my text join that we're doing with C2C, I don't really need that anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I don't really need this anymore. We were using that to show how that would work. Let's just take this information and drag it over here. Here's our hard-coded query that we're trying to build. Now I have I've combined those two things. Let me drag these back here. So here's my query that I'm getting with, and it's building for me all of the different pieces of that I need. Perfect. So finally, we should be able to put these two concepts together. Here's my query that is getting what we want, but we're hard coding it. Let's just go ahead and paste that in there. There's our machine name, but it's hard coded. So what we should be able to do is take this formula here, and I'll grab everything except the equal signs. I'm going to copy that, and I should be able to take this, and instead of saying where B equals machine 2, we're going to have, instead of putting that in there, I want to put in a double quote and an ampersand because I'm including something here. And then honestly, I'm going to put in an ampersand and a double quote. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to paste that formula in between those two pieces. And let's see, there we go. What we're doing there then is in one formula, and let's go ahead and format this the way we'd like. In one formula right here, we have built a way to pull in the list of machines that are checked. And it's in this single formula. And then of course, if we wanted, we could equals the sum, and the sum here would be this. We can go ahead and hit enter there and make that currency, maybe make it bigger for the people to see, and maybe make it red. So now as you select different machines, as we saw in our example, all done with a single formula, we were starting with this idea here. Then we had to text join, and we had to text join this query that we had built first. We put that together with the text join, and then we took that text join formula, dropped it in to this part where b equals, and again, notice the important piece here. I want to point out that I'm going to separate that a little bit just so you can see that would be this double quote ampersand, double quote ampersand wraps that formula that we had put in there. So there we go. That's how you can build a list using checkboxes. Sort of be able to filter a set of data using checkboxes.